I've got to see you again.
I've Got to See You Again by Norah Tunes. This is the next tune I'm going to teach you. Happy birthday, Norah, for the 30th of March. Norah Tunes is a spectacularly successful singer. She has one of the most beautiful voices ever created. It's the most fantastic voice, and she sold over 50 million records worldwide. She's a brilliant pianist. She writes songs as well as covers other people's songs. And when she brought Come Away With Me in 2002, it went huge. It was like 27 million albums sold, and it sort of fused blues and jazz and pop, and it's just a fantastic blend of music. She's known in particular for certain songs. We're going to do I've Got to See You Again as the song today because it's a bit different. It's something a little bit different about it. It's a sort of sultry flamenco-y Cajun number, and it was brought to me by Jane Clulo, who's one of my old students, who brought it to me, and it's a really beautiful track, and it's quite deep on the album, so it's one you may have missed, but it's absolutely beautiful and very different for a saxophone to play on. So we're going to look at that particular tune today. So I've Got to See You Again by Norah Tunes is the song to celebrate Norah's birthday on the 30th of March. Happy birthday, Norah. Point 2. This song, which was written by the same guy who wrote Don't Know Why, a guy called Jess Harris, is a really sultry number. It's a really beautiful number, and the sax of course does this sort of evocative music really beautifully. It's in D minor for alto and G minor for tenor. But it also brings in, and this is the beauty of it, it also brings in the blues scale. So the D minor is D, E, F, G, A, B flat, C and D. Obviously when you come to do that for real, you do a full circle tour right over the instrument. It also brings in the blues. The blue note is the G sharp. And it also brings in the harmonic, the sharpened seventh, which takes you sort of into the Middle Eastern sound, which is this. Which is a truly beautiful sound. So there's a lovely fusion of those three different sounds. So you've got those extra blue notes in, and then the extra sort of sharpened seventh note, which really give this song a really beautiful feel. So that's point number 2. Prep with the scales and be aware of how these are blended in this spectacularly lovely song. As always, when you're playing any song and you're interpreting the song on the saxophone, be aware of the lyrics, and in this particular case, be aware of the seductive feel of the song, and also the saxophone's siren song. The saxophone does siren songs so well. Listen to tracks like Plas Johnson's Tanya and Only the Blues, and it does the siren song so well. Also with the phrasing, have keen ears. The phrasing in this is quite loose, so be aware of that when you're listening to it. Because the timing's not straightforward. Some songs, the timing is very straightforward. Don't Know Why, for example, a Norah Tunes song, the timing is straightforward. This one's a little bit loose, but again, when you come to play it, as you'll see with the version I'm going to do, you can kind of play around and come in a little bit earlier, a little bit late, but really have keen ears for this one. Point number 4. When you're playing and singing through the sax with a voice, especially a voice as beautiful as this lady's, fantastic voice, really mix up the wah-wahs and the tonguing, and you can bend the notes as well. So I'll just give you an example. Verse 3, when she goes into she brings the G sharp in. So in that phrase, I wah-wah'd the repeat notes on the first phrase, and then the second phrase, I blew the note and then added the tongue, and I blew the note and added the tongue. So these are different techniques that you can bring in to make something, when you're using repetitious notes, really interesting. And again, because of the looseness of her voice, you can bring a lot more bending notes in of that wah-wah nature and the jaw nature. So really important to again put your own personality when you're playing a song on the sax and you're interpreting an already sung song. So if you can put your own nuances in it, that will personalise it still to you further, and that's what we're trying to do as sax players, is be super sort of individual when you're playing. Point number 5, use the dynamic range with this. Sometimes she's blowing really quietly and sometimes she really sort of explodes with emotion with this, and it's the ebb and flow of playing the saxophone as well. So some parts let it purr, let it flow, let it slur, and other parts, like I say, be a bit louder and more expressive in your playing. The dynamic range gives music an emotive feel, so really important to get that into your playing as well. Point number 6. One of the thing about great singers, one of the things about great singers even, is that they often do very sort of what I call throwaway notes, throwaway phrases. They just sort of go, whoa, and they just let the note kind of fall. So again, when you think about when you're playing, really soft with your airflow as well. If I just play an example from the 3rd line of verse 3. So the last 3 notes, the G, F and E, are barely audible, but they're really important to it. So again, if you're controlling your air, you can put what I call these throwaway but very vital notes in. Okay, so again, keen ears, really listen to what you're playing and then really get into the nuances of the vocal. Once you get into that, then you should be able to express anything like that on the sax, because as great King Curtis said, I can take any song sung by a singer and put it on my horn, and you can do it as long as you can hear the tune very clearly in your mind. Point number 7, the last line of each verse. There's the harmonic 7th, the C sharp, the lovely Middle Eastern note. And again, beware of when you're going from C sharp to C. Again, you can vary the tongue and the wiring. Oh. Or a mix. So you can wah, you can tongue, you can mix it, a blend of the two as well. So again, really get the sultry phrase in there. And like I say, a nice fluent movement between the C sharp and the C. Keep your fingers dead close to the keys, touch tight to the keys, as we always say. And point number 8, check out other Norah tracks. Obviously, she did that first album, Come Away With Me, which is a fantastic album, and it was a smash album. And I've listened to some other ones, and there was one particular song that really struck me, and I heard it ironically just around Christmas this year, which is her version of Horace Silver's Piece, and that is absolutely beautiful, very jazzy but very beautiful. And the thing is with Norah, because you're kind of looking for the immediacy from that early album, that basically every track was right on the money. And again, I was even listening to her last night, and there are some fantastic songs on that particular album where Horace Silver's Piece is. So again, have a listen to her later material, and again, if you can find another one of her songs you think, wow, I think that could really work on the sax, work it out and try and find a backing track for it and try and give it your own personality. So happy birthday, Norah. I hope you really enjoy my version of your fantastic song, I've Got to See You Again, which is a fantastic song, and enjoy playing this on the saxophone.